There are a few differences between appealing and a reconsideration when we're talking about MCAT accommodations, so let's talk about them. If you are appealing, you're basically asking the AAMC to give another look through at the application that you submitted. With an appeal, you are allowed to rewrite parts of your personal statement to provide added context. I definitely suggest that you do this, especially if they gave feedback on what was lacking or what was missing in your application, which they usually do when your accommodations are only partially approved. The appeal process takes 30 days. It's a relatively straightforward process, so essentially you're just submitting all of the documents that you submitted initially over again, asking them to look them over, and hopefully they'll look into what their decision was and decide differently looking over the documents again. I think that's why it's so important to expand a bit more on your personal statement if you are appealing, because it'll provide them with more context and hopefully a deeper insight into why the accommodations that they approved you for may not be enough. On the other hand, there's the reconsideration process. This process also takes an additional 30 days, and with the reconsideration process, you can actually submit new documents or basically anything else that would support the case for your accommodations. So in certain cases with the accommodations, they may have written out certain documents that were missing or certain evidence that they needed more of basically in that letter that you get when your accommodations are approved or partially approved. With the reconsideration process, you would want to take everything that they said into account and specifically get more documents that they didn't have in the first place. Kind of going back to my last video, this is why I decided to do the appeal process rather than a reconsideration process. I just didn't have the time, energy, or funds to really get more documentation than I already had given them. And since my test was coming up, I also didn't really have the time to schedule those appointments, get new documents, and get everything together. So when you're considering whether to appeal or whether to reconsider, you should really take into account where you are mentally, where you are physically, and if you can really handle getting more documentation or if you can't. If you can't, then go for the appeal, expand on your personal statement a bit, and hopefully they'll give you the accommodations that you need. If you do have more time, more funds, more energy to give to the AAMC, then you can definitely go the reconsideration route, and hopefully that will also get your accommodations approved. I hope that clarifies any confusion between appeal and reconsideration. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments or feel free to DM me. Bye.